the worst thing you can do in life if you don't want to have pain is to love someone. If you don't want to have to mess with these or prove how real these are, don't love anybody. Lock your heart up, shut it down, shut it up. And the number one worst thing you can do with love is have a child. Because children require a parent to sign a contract of pain. And it doesn't matter. I've got a 27-year-old and a 25-year-old now. So if this film lasts a while, I'm talking about 30, 28, and on and on and on. And I will still be a person who loves them, which means I'm still going to be a person who's always going to have pain related to them having to struggle in life. So love has a lot to do with these things. And if you can't do these things, you can draw the conclusion. You can't love well. So these aren't weaknesses. Used well, they're strengths. Your feelings take you to your needs awaken desire, desire takes you to your longings. What you long for your children won't happen. You long for them to have home, peace, safety, and justice. And it's not going to happen. And you want them to keep hoping. You have hope for them. So it's amazing that as soon as you awaken to your feelings and as soon as you become relational, if you don't know how to do feelings, you don't know how to do life, you don't know how to do love, and you don't know how to lead. And feelings open the doorway to living fully, loving deeply, and leading well. It's amazing. Now, feelings are passwords, keys, and lanterns. They let you in your heart, they show you around your heart, and they open doors in your heart, okay? So if you want into your heart, which means you want to be a person who can love, you've got to have a heart to go into and ability to come out of it. Our lives, we're built to live from the inside out, to bring our insides outside. What a child wants more than anything else is to know the heart of the parent, and that the heart of the parent is with the heart of the child. That's the basic bottom line. Are you someone who can tell me how to live? Because I hurt. Do you know hurt? I feel lonely. Do you feel lonely? I know sadness. Do you have sadness? I know guilt. Do you know guilt? Do you know forgiveness? Do you know mercy? Do you still feel hungry? Do you know what a broken heart is like? Do you know how to show me how to live? And if a parent can't do feelings, if a person can't do feelings, if a child isn't allowed to keep their feelings, then love is squashed. Living fully is diminished. And leadership is frankly a false form of shaping people. It's be like me and stay away from feelings. Leaders become the people who feel the least. And that makes us, that makes a sick society, actually. So anyway, passwords. A password is something that lets you into your computer. Okay? Your feelings are the passwords of the heart. If you don't speak the language of your heart won't let you in to its house. Okay? So, and the heart, the language of the heart is sadness, hurt, loneliness, fear, shame, guilt, and gladness. So how do you get in? How do you get into the passwords? Well, your brain, your thinking brain has to be able to say something like, hey, heart, what are you feeling? In other words, ask God's question, where are you? Because you have a thinking brain and you really do have an emotional brain. And by the way, that is scientifically proven. You have a feeling brain that stores your feeling responses and your long-term memories. Your long-term memories and your feeling responses are tied up together. If you have memories that you don't want to have to return to, then you have feelings that are shut down to keep your memories from being reawakened. So so when your brain says, hey, heart, what's going on? You may have to address some things that you thought you could just simply put behind you. You know, just because you've grown up and you're 40 doesn't mean you've left your childhood. Your body did, but you haven't. You see, you don't leave your life behind. You take it wherever you go. Wherever I am, there I am. You see, wherever I go, there I am. There's no getting away from me. In fact, this idea of getting away, it's at the garbage dump. We throw stuff away, it's at the dump. There's no such place as away. You throw it to the garbage dump, it's piling up there. There's no away. There's knowing how to live daily, but there's no such place as getting away from our lives. But feelings will let you learn how to live your life fully in spite of what's happening in the day. So passwords will let you in your heart. So when you ask your heart what it's feeling, and you will say, your heart will say back to you, once you're practiced, I'm really sad, or I'm just anxious, I'm mad, or shame. It will answer you back. I know that sounds weird, but as a person thinks in their heart, so are they. Your heart is waiting on you, just like the child waits on the parent to come home to ask them the questions, how are you? See, because love is a delight in the presence of another person. Love is a curiosity about the heart of the other person. Love is a willingness to stand in the way of another person. It's basically saying, you go around me, over me, under me, but you're not going through me. I'm staying right here. And if you go out that door, guess what? The light's on, the door's unlocked, and I'll be waiting right here. I'm not leaving. So I'm staying. And then love is a willingness to be hurt but not harmed. So the feelings that the heart can speak is the capacity to love. The feelings. So your heart is a little bit like a child, and the brain can become like the parent that can speak to the child, and you join up together, and what's called joining up together, you grow up. Okay? You grow up, which means somebody who's capable of living life on life's terms, able to love and able to be in pain. All right? But if you don't know how to use the tools, you don't know how to get the gifts. Okay? I was working at a construction site remodeling a house. There was a man next door that knew how to use a wood lathe. And the wood lathe requires about 9 blades, tools you put on the spinning wood and know how to use them. If I don't know how to use those tools, it just chops up everything. He showed me just how to turn something. So I started doing it by myself. I never learned how to repeat a pattern, but I started learning how to be able to use the tools to make a bowl, to make a leg of a table. It turns out I could almost make a second leg look like the other one, but anyway, I didn't go too far. But the better you're able to use the tools, the better you're able to build, to have what you're looking for. So feelings are passwords. Also, feelings are lanterns. Once you've gotten into your heart with your feelings, lanterns will show you around inside your heart. For example, when I grabbed your skin and you said, that hurts, you had a need. You had a need for it to stop. Okay? And you were desiring to speak your heart so the pain that you were in would stop. And you were longing for a world where you wouldn't even have to do that. And you were hoping by using your voice related to your hurt, right, it would make a difference. So lanterns show you to your needs, show you to your desire, your longings, and your hope. It opens you up. And keys, feelings are also keys. They take you to rooms in your house that you haven't been in a long time. If you are a person who shuts down your feelings, then you're taking a 1 to 10 life and trying to squeeze it to a 5 and 5. Do you get it? See, the Hebrews, the psalmist, the middle of the Bible between the first 3 chapters where it was great and the last 2 chapters was great, it's a story of travail and difficulty and redemption and joy and celebration and grief. And the Psalms are the story. And the Psalms are about living between 1 and 10. The Psalm 88 says, darkness is my closest friend. That's the last line of the Psalm. I want to turn the page. 88, 89. Wait, 88's not finished. Darkness is my closest friend. Life is terrible. It's hopeless. It's done. It's over. End of Psalm. That's not a good Psalm. That's a truthful Psalm. See? That's one, the depth of grief. And then, I'm so joyful with you, God. I'm like a lamb that's springing all over the place. I want to be with you so much that my body aches for you. Psalm 63. I long for you. My lips want to be close to you. It's like, that's very desirous. So between 1 and 10, we're created to live between 1 and 10, to grieve deeply and celebrate greatly. But think about how you would feel. You got a $15,000 bonus and you've got buddies around you that didn't. Do you run to them and trust that they will celebrate with you? Man, I got a $15,000 bonus. Do you tend to hide it from them? Very likely. How come? Because you're afraid they'll resent you, be jealous, think you're all that, try to get it, expect some payment for it. So we will shut down celebration just as much as we'll be ashamed and shut down grief. We're not good at celebrating, then we're not good at grieving because we're not good at letting these things open us up. You see? And so we try to make our lives squeeze between 5 and 5. Do you know what's between 5 and 5? 0. That's like living your life between 2 connecting doors in hotel rooms. Do you know? How's it going? Good. Real good. If I eat a little less, it'd be better. It's just, we know that's insane. Then how come we do it? Because the approval of man is more powerful than God, how we're made. Perhaps there's a lot more addiction going on in the world than we realize. Approval of man is addictive. What do I got to do to keep them from knowing what I'm feeling? And I'll do whatever it takes. But I'm certainly not going to tell the truth as God would call me to live like. Okay. So now here's the cool thing. The keys open up your house. Once you're living between 5 and 5, you've reduced your living space to a lot less than what God gave you. God has created each of us with a bunch of rooms, with a big old house. There are keys that your feelings open up. They're feelings like keys that open up rooms. Guys, there are rooms in your house that are full of sun, full of sunshine. You open up a door into a room full of light. There are flowers in the vases that somebody just left there, even though you haven't been in that room in years. God's been waiting on your return to this place where you could have inspiration and love and know where you belong. All you have to do is take the sheets off the furniture and you're back home. There are some doors that you need people to go in there with you because when they open, and it stinks because you put stuff in there that you don't want anyone to ever know. And yet, if it's not cleaned out, the stench, you see? So this opening up the rooms in our house, it's like expanding our lives. And guess what? The richer you are, the more you got. And the more you can give. Yeah. You don't have. And God calls us to live between 1 and 10 and love deeply, and so we can have a lot. Hunger and thirst, greedy, so you can have a lot.